Hi, Alice here. This video is about best choice shrub and how I found one for my landscape. 2.5 years ago, we moved here, Zone 9, Northern Florida, and there was no landscaping. A few trees here and there, but no shrubs in front of the house, nothing, no flower beds. So I set a priority for myself. I needed to put some shrubs in front of the house, and I wanted something that would provide privacy and a sense of beauty that would be support for the pollinators, the birds. I decided to sit down and think through what criteria was I looking for before I made a plant selection. My primary goal is easy. I already knew I wanted to fill in the area, and I wanted something that was going to be easy care, and I would like a native plant, if at all possible, that would be a nice looking shrub and not grow too high to block my view. Here is a view from the house, and the street is a distance away, but you can see cars and school buses and tradespeople in their trucks. I just wanted more of a sense of privacy. My criteria started with, first, I wanted a shrub that would grow maybe 3 to 5 feet max, because I wanted to sit on my front porch, look out at my yard, and not have a shrub block the view. But I also wanted one that was evergreen. I didn't want to be looking at sticks in the wintertime. And I wanted something that would be dense enough to give me a sense of privacy and comfort when I sat out here by myself, drinking my coffee in the morning, taking a nap, or whatever I wanted to do when I wanted to relax on my front porch. That was number one. Number two was I wanted something that would be support for pollinators and birds. I was looking for an evergreen that would have blooms for pollinators, for nectar, and also dense enough that the birds could come in and sit on the branches and have some protection or a sense of safety inside the shrub, and that would produce berries in the fall so that the migratory birds, as well as the birds that were going to overwinter in the area, would have a source of food. Number three, low maintenance. I did not want to have to get out every 3 months with my shears, cut down branches, shape things to get it to the right size. I didn't want to water every 3 to 4 days. I wanted something that at the most I could water once a week and it would thrive and do fine. I didn't want something that was a heavy feeder, so I had to fertilize frequently. Those were my low maintenance criteria. Number four, I wanted something that was free of pests, free of plant diseases. I didn't want to spray and have to use insecticidal soap on the plant. I just wanted it to thrive, to grow, and to fill in the area. And the last criteria, number five, I needed something that I could obtain locally. I didn't want to have to drive 3 hours to a store or mail order from a nursery that I couldn't inspect. I wanted something with what was within a reasonable drive of, say, 30 to 50 minutes from where I live. I started with the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's and Ace, and the smaller stores in my area like Stud Stills and Tractor Supply. They had some boxwood, they had some Japanese type boxwood, but I wanted something that was really Florida native if I could get it, or a cultivar of a Florida native. I expanded my search and I found the plant that I think checks all the boxes. It's called Walter's Viburnum, Mrs. Shiller's Delight. I measured my beds in the front, had a soil test, so pH was 6.2, so I knew my soil was slightly acidic, but it was in a good growing range, especially for native plants. Then I tracked the sun for several months, and I noticed that the front area, which is where I wanted to put my bed with the shrubs, was shaded by the house. Because of the location, the front facing north-northwest, the sun for half of the day provided shade in the front, and in the afternoon, wham, the full sun came in from the west, and it got very intense and hot. I knew what my sun conditions were, I knew my soil condition, and the watering would be by hand. I measured the area, and the length of the bed is 14 feet, and the depth is 6 feet from the railing of the porch. Gardening tip: know the dimensions of your plant at maturity. I like to plant so that my plant, when mature, will be 2 feet out from the side of the house. This is because I don't want to have to cut things back if I need to have the house painted, or if you have windows and you need repair or things adjusted, you might need to be able to access your area, the side of your home, easily. Also, if you have an in-ground sprinkler system or you set up a manual sprinkler system, you don't want the sprinklers hit the side of the house and cause any water damage. Nor do you want the plants to grow onto the side of the house with potential damage from pests and any wood-boring insects that might get into your house or cause cracks in the exterior of your home. So with that in mind, I knew I had 6 feet, and I knew that the plant that I had chosen grows 4 feet wide and about 4 feet tall, maybe 5 feet. And if I planted it 4 feet away from the side of the house, then I would have enough walk room and clearance to meet the dimensions that I require for my home. The outcome, I planted 2 years ago. I bought 3-gallon pots of Walter's Viburnum, Mrs. Shiller's Delight, and planted them 4 feet out from the house and 3 on each side, facing them 4 feet apart from center to center. I also mulched in the area around them to help with weed control and to help with moisture retention, and I used pine bark nuggets because they're available and they're inexpensive and they break down over time and help enrich the soil. I did not add any other additives to the soil when I planted the plant. What's the outcome? I think it's a garden yay moment when I'm sitting in the morning or afternoon or even evening enjoying my coffee or watching the sunset or looking at the birds, I have now a sense of privacy and security. Because of their growth in the last 2 years, they're now peeking up above the railing and they will grow maybe another foot. So at the moment, I'm just letting them grow to their max potential. The nice thing about these Walter's Viburnum, Mrs. Shillers, is they form a natural, pleasing shape and they will grow together. There's a little bit of gap still between the plants that will fill in, and they're thriving in half days sun, and they're tolerating very well the afternoon western sun. They're also blooming just like I wanted. And this year, they bloomed early spring, which was the beginning of April. And now, in the late summer, they're blooming again. They've also set berries so that meets another of my criteria for food for the migratory birds and the birds that are going to overwinter. They've checked off all of my conditions of satisfaction, my criteria. 5 stars for Walter's Viburnum, Mrs. Shiller's Delight. You are the best choice shrub for my garden. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have experience with planting a best choice shrub in your garden, please leave a comment below. There are other videos that you might be interested in watching. And if you've not yet subscribed, subscribe to Garden Yay. See you soon.